Okay, page 87. 2-4, page 85. Variables and equations. Here they're going to walk you through when they put the equations in words and how to put them into like an equation form. So when you see like the sum of x and 6, sum means the answer when you add, right? So you must be adding. The sum of x and 6 is 9. Is usually means they're referring to the equal sign, and then just to write it out. So I'm like page 80, 85. I'm on 85, about the middle of the page, right where in the red where it says example 1. So verbal sentence B, the difference of 12 and y is 15. And that's written out as 12 minus y is equal to 15. C, the product of negative 4 and p is 32. So negative 4p equals 32. And the quotient of n and 2 is 9. So again, quotient, answer when you divide. You're looking for like those verbal cues. So take a look at the bottom of 85. Number 1 says the sum of 3 and z is negative 10. So how can we put that into an equation or an equation form? We obviously know that we're doing what, Caleb? Sum? Adding. Adding what and what? And is negative 10? Is negative 10. That's it. We're not solving for z. We're just setting it up. Try 2. The quotient of m and 6 is 4. Now, that example 1, D, gives you an example of what the quotient equations look like. Africa? M over 6 equal to 4. Perfect. Any questions on that? Okay. They will also ask you to solve some equations using mental math. So if we take a look at page 86, a lot of this is totally review. That's why I'm kind of speeding through it a little bit. Right in the middle, that blue checkpoint on page 86, x minus 10 is equal to 7. They say solve using mental math. Now, mental math means you kind of reason through it in your head, although you should be somewhat familiar on how to solve equations at this point. It has a lot to do with opposites. What are we really trying to find out? Trying to find out the value for x. So remember all this, what's happening on the same side of x? We are currently subtracting 10. So we need to do the opposite of subtracting 10, which is what, Mia? To where? Both sides, right? Remember, we want to be fair? What gets done to one side gets done to the other. When I add a 10 to a negative 10, what do we have left? Right, so x plus 0 gives us the x on this side. 7 plus 10 is 17. Now, you could have reasoned through it on your own and said, okay, what minus 10 is equal to 7, and figured that it was 17. However you decide you want to go at it is totally fine. But if you always focus on the opposite, you know, it's going to be, you at least have a method, you at least have something to go from. Now, number 5, maybe a little more challenging. 2 plus an n is equal to a negative 6. adding any positive integer to another positive integer is never going to give you a negative. Right? So I already have a positive. I need to end up with a negative. So I have to, I know I'm adding, what am I putting in for n? Caleb? Yeah, you could. You want to rewrite it as n plus 2? Oops. So you know you'd be doing what? Subtracting 2 from negative 6? Should be a negative 8, right? From negative 6, subtracting 2. Six 3w is equal to negative 15. What's happening to w? It's being multiplied by 3. The opposite is 2. Negative 15 divided by positive 3. What kind of 5? Negative 5. And finally, 4 is equal to 36 divided by s. A little bit different, because what's actually happening is you're dividing by s. So the opposite would be to multiply by s. But can you mentally reason, what would you have to divide 36 by to get 4? 36 divided by what gives you 4? Sophia? 9. 36 divided by 9 is 4. S equals 9. Come in. Turn to page 87. Practice and problem solving. Numbers 8 through 11, the difference of x and 8 is negative 4. So what we need to do is put that into an equation. Any suggestions? Chris? 87. Africa. Difference means what? Subtract. Difference of x and 8. X minus 8 is equal to the negative 4. 9. The sum of 26 and y is 43. Chris? Good. 12 through 15 are yes or no answers. So x plus 9 equals 12. They are suggesting that x is equal to a negative 3. So if you plug in the negative 3 for x, does that make sense? What would x have to equal? Positive 3. 3 plus 9 is 12. (16 through 19). Match the equation with the corresponding question. Then solve. So 16. N plus 3 equals 12 matches up with what word form? Chris? So you need to put C. And then you solve. What is n equal to? Yes, 9. Right, 9 plus 3 equals 12. And then 20 through 31. Solve the equation using mental math. Mental math. Turn your head. 8 through 31.